Hello, welcome and welcome back. This is Jacob and today we are gonna be continuing the Let's Play for Reverse 1999. And today we are gonna be rounding up the last bits on Notes on Shuori. Only the character story for Gideon is left, Flowing in the Wind, and I'm looking forward to seeing what is gonna be in it. Because as you guys brought it up in the last couple of episodes, and I also kinda noticed during the main event portion, at least when I finished the main event portion for Notes on Shuori, Gideon is a character that didn't really get enough attention and character development during it. And therefore I'm looking forward to seeing what is gonna be in this thing. And also speaking of character stories and such, like I said in the previous episode, I did manage to get both Yenisei to 80%, or rather at this point 80% plus, and Jiu also to 80% plus trust. I will be also reading through their, character menu story sections as well at the end of today's part. So there's gonna be a lot of character stories. TLDR, it's gonna be a lot of character stories today, and I'm looking forward to it. Plus, this is also the final episode on a side story, which means I'm gonna be watching both the main trailer for Notes on Shuori, the character trailers, and if there was any kind of special animation, I'm also gonna dig that up for the ending. But that will be for later. Oh, and also, I did see the comment on Reddit, or rather the link on Reddit that was left for me for a very lengthy breakdown on Jiu that someone did, and that is a read-through. By the way, I did bookmark that link. However, as this week has been all over the place with my free time, I didn't have enough time to read through the thing, so for now it's bookmarked. I will read it eventually over the next couple of days, but right now I just didn't have enough time to do so. But thank you for that interesting looking link. I will give it a proper read. And also, speaking of the comments on the previous part, I did want to select a very interesting comment that was pretty long as well. However, when I was looking at the comment section on the previous episode, I noticed a very peculiar thing, and that was that one of the comments got, for some reason, buried, or rather is invisible, depending on how you are sorting the comment section, either by top comment or newest first. If you go by newest first, it appears, but if you go by top comment, it disappears. So in all fairness, and because it also made me laugh, the comment that is, in all fairness, I do want to give a shout out to that one instead and say, from Victorama219, who said, "She cute, she waifu, she drinks, she horse. Perfect, ring her." That sentence killed me, by the way. Anyway, Pei City in a way is a really good city. Like, for once, Arcanists and humans are all good together, and Li Zheng is a grandpa everyone wants. I agree. You also edited here and added, regarding side stories, I love them in almost every single game. Side quests, however, if they are just a chore, nope. But side quests with story like in the Legend of Heroes series, yes, it gives me more immersion. I could not agree more with that last comment. The Legend of Heroes, as you said, series of games is also very well known for not just these side quests having like very significant developments for story, lore, world building, and just a lot of times just the characters of a town. They're interesting. They're just interesting to do. They don't feel like a chore because you get a mini story that is taking place. Especially because in a lot of cases in the Legend of Heroes series, and I know I'm glazing that game series again, leave me, leave me be. In the case of the Legend of Hero games, when it comes to side quests, it's also always so funny, because if you engage with the townspeople, who, by the way, pretty much every named NPC in a town has a story development throughout 1, 2, even 3 games at a time. Even 10 games down the line, they can re-emerge with like an update to their personal life and story. But in a lot of cases, if you play one game and you engage with the townspeople, by the end of the game, there is a very high chance that a lot of the people you engage with in the city on your own will suddenly have a quest appear, not because you engage with them, but because you engage with them and you already are familiar with their story. When they come to you or you come to them for the quest, it's a very funny feeling of, I kind of know what you're gonna ask me. It's kind of like coming to a friend who is asking you for help in that game series, and it always feels so rewarding, in my own opinion, when you do that. And very funny because they talk to you and you're just nodding. I know, yes, I know. I've talked to you during the entire game already. I know. But yeah, games like that are always fun when a dev puts in a lot of work essentially into writing stories and interesting characters and stuff like that. So yeah, that is always fun to engage with. And yeah, in most games that I've also played myself, side stories I'll always do, especially if they are interesting. But if they are not interesting, I will ignore them. I will very much ignore them, or just skip through them to get the rewards, and that's it. But luckily, the games and the game series that I play myself have all been pretty fun to do for side activities so far in my life. So I'm happy that I'm picking good, or listening to good advice, which game to pick up as well. So yeah. Anyway, Victor, thank you very much for the comment, and yeah, the YouTube section is a bit buggy as always. So your comment, again, depending on how it was laid out, it pretty much just disappears from the menu. But yeah, also speaking of the comments of the previous part, like I said, the other comment that I wanted to select had a very interesting breakdown, a bit of a breakdown on Giu, and Giu as seen by people who complained that she's a bit of a dumb character. So I just want to quickly read that paragraph out because that was interesting to me, because it always makes your head hurt, because that is the aspect that people picked up on. But as said in a comment, people complaining Jiu is a dumb character when she's like the usual personality of a female peasant protagonist in Chinese dramas taking place in ancient China. Also, people calling this event the most worst when Remit Cup is way more boring, and there is chapter 1 and 2 of the main story that haven't aged well in terms of lore bombing their audience and somewhat decent localization. Yeah, the Geo part is still mind-boggling to me, that people really disliked her because she's dumb. I don't see it, I don't care about it. She is a very wholesome character in my opinion, and I really enjoyed her as a character. And also the chapter 1 and 2, I don't remember chapter 1 and 2 very well with how the story was outlaid. I do remember when I started the Let's Play that people pointed out that the prologue of the game had been like redone, and like some stuff also apparently re-recorded, so that's a good thing. I do wonder if they're gonna do that for chapters 1 and 2 if they didn't do it already, and maybe readjust some of the stuff there, but I don't know. For me personally, it was fine. I didn't have really any kind of big complaints about chapter 1 and 2, but that was also like when I began with the whole trip through this game and its story and stuff, so I can't really say too much about it. But yeah, anyhow, just wanted to quickly go over that, and yeah, let's go into the story for Gideon, Flowing in the Wind. Let's see. The One Traveling Far, Prelude. Okay. Also, I forgot to mention, if I do sound a bit off or something, thank you, Gideon. Nice ASMR. If I do sound a bit off for some reason vocally or something, I've been tiny bit under the weather over the past like 2-3 days. Not really even a fever, just snivelly, and my right eye had been watery for like the past 2 days and itchy. I don't know what was happening. Maybe I was just like incubating something very quickly for like 2 days. I don't know. But now it's better, just my lung capacity feels like it got slashed by like 30%. Anyhow. A fine spot to rest. The bird perches in the nook of a tall tree, but not long after, he hears branches breaking beneath him, the sudden cracks startling him from his rest. After a brief search, he finds no sign of danger and returns to his roost. A moment passes and the forest is quiet once more. I was on the steppe near the upper reaches of Palin River when I met Yenisei and Bessmert. That being so, then I should be near there soon. Okay, interesting. So this is taking place right after he meets these two, I guess, Yenisei and Bessmert. Huh, okay. So this is kind of gonna be a story taking place between here and maybe taking place in the background of Notes on Shuori. Okay, interesting. I can vibe with this. It is, of course, abundantly clear that this Vertin forest is nowhere near the steppe he is looking for. Realizing his mistake, he sighs unconsciously, then takes out a bone flute from his belt. I must go with the flow. That was what the hexagram instructed. Hexagram, huh? Yet...
And now...
One who is lost should not be afraid to seek help if necessary. As he gently flaps his wings, a melody trickles out from the flute. Soon the melody draws the attention of the forest birds. They close in, landing on the branches around them.
Please.
I am in need of some help. I am traveling to the steppe that begins at the upper reaches of Palin River. Could you show me the way? Chirp, chirp, chirp? No. I am certain it's called Yenisei River. Ah, right. I don't remember if I talked about this, but one of you guys brought it up that Yenisei picked her code name or name essentially from this river specifically. But it is most strange that the river shares its name with my friend. So where is this river then? More chirping? That far? Truly? How is it that I became so turned around? Well, it will take far too long to fly back now. I might as well take a look around here. I will go with the flow. Gideon lifts off with a bow, flying high into... Ooh, Birdman! Flying high into the sky to look for a new, closer destination. The flourish of forest below shrinks until it's only a small stroke of green on a wide canvas. A mountain ridge is painted into the scene, one end sloping downward to the cut of a river, while the other end stretches out, coiling across the landscape to the steppe land that lies far in the distance. The trees below him grow more scattered and sparse. Those that remain tower tall and straight, with needles instead of broad leaves, standing out like tiny brown dots on the painting. The icy fens ahead capture the blue of the sky and freeze it into ice, and a dusting of snow covers dry brown soil, as if it were salt sprinkled across a marble table. Among the boundless white caps and fields of snow, a handful of buildings sparkle with lights, drawing the birds' attention. What do I see here? Gideon glides back down towards a desolate patch of ground. Someone has piled grain here. He watches for a while, but sees only squirrels and hares moving about carrying out mouthfuls of looted grain. There seems to be nothing else around, no sign of a house, nor even a person. Perhaps he might stay the night and fill his empty belly. And so Gideon lands softly in the yard and finds himself something to eat. Alright. Actually, I'm starting to question now, is this taking place right after the story? Oh, this is an interesting image. Right after the story of Notes on Shuori or during it? He was talking about meeting Yenisei and Bessmert on the step. But I guess I'm gonna see as we go through this. 8 parts, I guess? Yep. Okay. Alright, stage 1. Dripping inside the hourglass. Alright then. Well, that's a familiar office. Uh-huh. Excuse me? Oh, is the old man? Oh yeah. Gradually regaining sight, the bird spies the furnishings of a simple office and the face of an old man staring back at him. The old man, with a face both worried and confused, seems to be reiterating a previous statement.
Just now?
So you've said your name was Gideon Yenping, and you've come to visit to the city in search of 2 lost belongings.
Okay, so that's his full name, huh?
Is that correct?
The eagerness in the man's tone finally drags Gideon's wandering soul back into his body.
Exactly.
Oh, interesting. So now he is... Actually, is that the I guess that is the surname. Okay.
Yes, you may call me Yenping.
I would... You know what? I would love if they would have actually said his full name out loud. Because now I'm second guessing if I'm saying it correctly.
That's no matter.
Forgive me, my mind is scattered. Must be in need of rest after my trip. Whatever else do you need to know?
Hold on a second.
Well, we've made a mock-up of your belongings. Please check if they match your description. We've never seen anything like these particular items in our city, so I'm afraid I'll have to ask you to tell us a little more about them.
The old man puts the files aside and unfolds 2 pieces of yellowed paper. His, cane, essentially scepter. And what is the other thing? Like a talisman?
Take your time. Let me know if there's anything incorrect.
Yenping pins the pictures down with his wing and checks them over carefully.
Yes, it's a good rendition. You should know the wand is made of bone, and the pendant of jade.
Huh?
So, are these valuable in any way?
No.
No, not as you mean it. The wand itself is no more than a common tool, used to cast arcane skills, but no different from the calligraphy brushes, flagons, or brooms other people use.
I see.
Oh, so you use it to cast your arcane skills.
The old man nods thoughtfully before following with another question.
You just said it was a common tool. So where you're from, Arcanists don't need any sort of special wand?
Huh?
Flagons, brooms, swords, sticks, even, you said calligraphy brushes. It seems like anything could be used to cast arcane skills.
Exactly.
I'm sure you've seen it for yourself. Arcanists are everywhere, even here, I presume. Then you must know it is the caster's will that triggers the skill. The tool is only a medium, a matter of style rather than necessity.
Gideon blinks at the man, confused at his strange ignorance of such basic precepts of Arcanum. Interesting. I can't remember what the consensus is in modern times, but I think people in the modern era are a bit more knowledgeable, or rather a bit more aware that casting doesn't require a medium, right? Interesting, I don't remember this being brought up too much. Actually. I just remember people casting skills. Either using something in their hands or not using anything. Anyway, so someone can correct me on that. The old man seems to read nothing into Gideon's stare and continues.
Oh, well, we're sort of remote, so many things are different here. I try not to assume. I didn't mean to offend. I only was curious. We have Arcanists here, of course, but we know little about those outside of our community.
That's no matter.
The world is vast indeed. That's true.
That being the case, let's...
So then, this bone bond is your top priority. We are short on manpower right now, but I'll have it found. No.
Huh?
The old man wrinkles his face in surprise at the bird's response, yet it comes to rest back to a smile again.
As you said, the pendant is of no great value. To be honest, it seems quite ordinary. I think it's unlikely it will be stolen. But Iwan is a different case. The consequences of such a tool ending up in the wrong hands is certainly more severe. Nonetheless, we will try to have them both returned to you.
Thank you.
I only mean that I can't say that the wand is a greater priority to me.
Meant.
Why is that? The wand is an arcane tool. I can only guess it must be more valuable.
The old man must have sensed Yan Ping's hesitation, so he cuts himself off to ask another more pointed question.
Of course, I should have asked first. Which one is more valuable to you?
Gideon replies with silence. Only the rustle of the feathers and the drip drops of a water clock can be heard. The worn stone floor is smooth and cold, proving uncomfortable to stand on compared to a branch. Gideon folds his wings, with claws tapping on the stone floor gently.
I don't...
I cannot say. I should need to think it through before I give an answer.
Surprised by Yan Ping's response, the old man leans in with interest.
I see. Please, take your time.
That being the case, let's...
We may need to wait some time for your belongings to be found. You're welcome to stay here and talk with me. I happen to need help with some questions of my own. Of course, you can ask me any that you have as well. Whatever comes to mind.
Please.
By all means, go ahead. There is a young girl who runs a tavern in the city that has gone missing. We searched every corner, but still haven't found her. She was wearing a red dress with a blue-green top. Did you happen to see her before you entered the city?
No.
Huh?
She has a friend, a foreign merchant of the same age with red hair. Very eye-catching. Would that help at all?
My apologies.
No, it would not. Please search your memories. They might have been near a bridge.
A bridge? The bird conjures up a memory. Indeed, there was a bridge. The water dripping in the back is throwing me, not gonna lie. Built over the cliff, broken in two. Oh, sorry.
Built over the cliff, broken in two. Many have tried to make it over, and nearly as many failed. At least the skeletons below tell me so.
That is dark.
And what about the other side of the bridge? I recall further on there are trees, yes, then rivers, then mountains, and a heavy fog that separates this place from there.
This should not be.
The ones you're looking for would have no reason to jump that gap, if they could even manage it.
He places a certainty in his tone, as if to stop the old man's questions, or at least convince him he in fact hasn't seen them. Yet now he feels a rising uncertainty inside himself.
We will have to expand the search then. I hope they're alright.
He thinks back to the bridge, as well as the parting that happened there. There was a building on the other side of the gap, and yes, someone did jump across it. Someone in a striking red dress, hard to miss against its plain surroundings.
What about Junangse? She jumped over the bridge. Is she never coming back?
Okay, so this is taking place after the story. Also, by the way, I don't know if it's audible enough, but I wonder, is it audible when I take a breath? How shallow my lung sounds? That is not miming, by the way. Ooh.
Perhaps we will meet again. One day.
Yang. The memory and the name pop up in his mind, but for now he has to put them aside. The old man remained locked in his stare all this time, before breaking the tension with another question.
Did you remember something?
Not that is of any use.
My apologies.
There is nothing I can do. Oh, never mind then. We should talk more about your...
My want, perhaps? I presume you wish to know how to use it, and whether it may do harm to you.
This should not be.
We have spent too much time circling about each other.
No.
Circling? No,
That's no matter.
Take no mind of it. I will tell you what I know. The old man puts on a shocked face. Its contours look strange for his age, like a momentary glimpse of a younger man.
Exactly.
As I said, this wand is not of any great power, but it has its uses to me, and I would have it back. I will satisfy your curiosity, but then you must return it at once.
That's right.
Certainly. We are not thieves after all.
As I am just a visitor here, and you, my host, all I can do is make a humble request. Somehow, the request comes across as more of a polite warning. Yet the old man seems not to sense the implication at all. He heaves a sigh of relief and nods along with Gideon.
No problem. No problem at all.
All right.
Good. Things are simpler when the truth is out in the open. I will tell you about my wand, but first, you need to answer my question. I can plainly see your bones don't fit your appearance.
Are you disguised as someone else?
Oh? 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 Okay, that is piquing my interest now.
You already have your answer, don't you? But I will answer your question only after you answer mine.
He slightly nods and signals to Yanping.
Please.
What is going on? Now this is throwing even another question on top of my mind. Is this actually happening, or is this some trick of the mist that he wandered into? Maybe it's actually happening, and I'm just thinking too much, but interesting. The old man is someone else in disguise? Ooh, that is interesting. A flood of memories. Let's see. Ooh, this is interesting. Who could be the old man, then? Huh. I don't think there was even a slight
Life
like
in the mountain is indeed carefree.
Gideon's clanmate, huh? Yeah, but thinking back on the main portion of the event story, I don't think there was a single like hint or clue that the old man could be someone else.
Listen, there's the wind, the rustling leaves, and the chirping birds, all much more beautiful than that awful racket that humans make.
Do you think so, Yanping?
Hey, thank you. He actually said it. Yanping, huh? The bird called Yanping moves carefully to the trunk of the tree, so he could hide in the shadow.
I don't.
I've never left the mountain, which is more annoying. The noises made by humans or those made by animals.
To you, I think they would both be annoying, just in different ways.
It seems.
I admit listening to the daily conversation of humans and their haggling in the market can sometimes be interesting. Is that so?
Birds, like any intelligent creature, can have different personalities and hobbies. One can tell the differences between them by listening carefully to their chirps. One might be loud and talkative, while the other makes only a few short sounds in reply. They do invent many new and useful things, some that maybe you will need one day. Like bricks. Our nests have been much better protected since they showed me how to make them.
Exactly.
That's true.
Like this.
And the technique of making beautiful melodies with bamboo and wood with holes, or the doodles they draw that can hold their words.
And then...
They can even measure time using something they call a calendar. They can see into the essence of ordinary things and dream up wondrous creations from them.
If you look at the world like a human does, you will probably be shocked by its vastness.
It is.
Yanping, I know you don't care about humans, but I feel I should tell you everything I want to say.
Yanping moves back to where he had stood before, right next to the other bird, their wings rubbing against each other with feathers puffing out.
So, you're leaving too? Well, it's only a matter of time. Good luck. Thank you.
In a rare moment of silence in the tree, one of the birds stretches his wings to cover the other. Okay, so yeah, the main story did talk about that, pretty much all of the people of his clan left one after another, and he's like the only one left who lives on the mountain.
You're still unwilling to leave the mountain. Is it because you can't bear to stay away from home?
However,
I simply have not found a reason to leave.
It seems...
Your time has not yet come, I guess, but that's fine. We need someone to take care of our nests and belongings. I leave my books and instruments to you.
You were the first one born in the Central Plains after we migrated. I think you will adapt to the environment here faster than we do.
Okay.
We are so used to living high in the sky. When we look down, both the cities and the people are no different from dirt piles. Only by living among them can we truly experience the prosperity described in the poems.
This random guy has so many voiced lines. It's fascinating.
I think you will leave the mountain one day.
Oh, he will. He will choose a suitcase, apparently.
But not for now, at least. It's not yet time for me to think of such things.
Fine.
Just as well. You glide slowly, just like always. Hopefully, I'll be useful to our people one day. I don't want to become another lazy bone always snoozing beneath the tree.
That's a nice jab. Okay. The seasons changed, beasts and birds came and went away, and the traces they had left behind were gone in less than a day as the leaves fell. The stream flows downwards and the wind blows its course night and day as always.
You've returned.
Who? Oh, it's you, Yanping!
Bone collector? Who is this now?
Whose bones are these?
Not your friends, I'm afraid. I will take them all to our temple. You may check them yourself, should you wish.
All right.
I will.
Quite some time has passed, yet still you choose not to leave the mountain.
Well, given the situation of our race, I guess you'll be the last one left to take care of our bones.
So interesting, his clan members got so... I guess this is a clan member, considering how he's addressing their race and everything. But so interesting, right? All of his clan members so far that were presented, even this guy without a portrait, have unique voice actors to them.
You will have to leave one day.
And so many actual voiced lines, and not just like one sentence or something.
Thank you.
I thank you for the reminder. Now please, leave me alone.
The bird robed in loose clothing stretches its wings and flies towards the point of a roof far away.
It is fine better for a nap.
Both the mountain and the human world are between the sky and the earth. Are they really different? Anyway, the breeze feels comfortable now. I should take a nap.
The king of naps. Gideon might be a bird, essentially, but he sleeps more than a cat.
There are so many bones left in the temple. It could take 100 years, or even more, to read through each one's stories. I might have a long life, but I'd still rather spend the time on the things I'm actually interested in.
What, like napping?
These stories have nothing to do with me. There is no need for me to leave the mountain.
You know, it didn't even cross my mind right now, but considering he can read a person from his bones, essentially, their life and everything, well, I don't have him yet, but I'm very curious. Does he have a voice line addressed towards Vertin that is talking about her bones or what he sees in them? I'm very curious if there is one. You can honestly, if there is a sentence like that, you can honestly leave it in the comment section below if you have it on hand, because I would love to just see that if there is a specific sentence for that. Very curious what he would say about Vertin. The beast in the mountain remained there for several generations, until the rocks in the stream had been polished smooth. But the scholar there where the birds rested remained... Wait, what? But the scholar there where the birds rested remained as green as ever. I think there are typos in this sentence, and I think a couple of them anyway.
Our kind has not had a new generation for a long time. I don't think anyone will be able to collect my bones and move them to the temple if I die outside this mountain. In that case, then the tombs here would eventually be buried by weeds. We migrated and followed the humans. We studied from different cultures. We put so much effort into prolonging the lives of our people.
Yet, it was all in vain, as I expected.
What eventually led him to leave the mountain was a summoning. In layman's terms, it was like a wordless awareness of or calling. Every member of his race would have felt it. Whenever it happened, they each would fold their wings and lower their heads, and the bone collector would set off to where the bones lay.
Better make it quick.
Feels like this is the good old story of a race of people who can live for so long that like they need to have offspring slowly disappears, right? Because that is the one thing that any kind of creature with a short lifespan has kind of genetically built into them to have offsprings. Because otherwise, the population of their like either tribe or little group or well just the population in general, you can kind of feel it like you kind of need to do it, but also to have someone to inherit your stuff and move on with whatever you leave them with. Anyway,
It's not far. Good. It's not too close to the human city. I won't be interrupted. He must have been on his way back to the mountain, but didn't make it.
That's no matter.
No matter. I'll take him back.
from his view high in the sky, spotting the white bones strewn across the green foliage was a simple matter. Seeing his target, he folded his wings and landed.
We meet again.
He examined the skull beneath the cloth and felt for a second it peered back at him. The wilderness was silent, as if the place were long abandoned. Like how they used to, he kept a bit of a distance, but this time the bones did not hop forward to meet him. One wing covered the other again.
You know, I often wondered why every bone collector would eventually leave the mountain, just as you did. Was it the scenery? The people? Something else? You left to help humans build cities and bridges. You even sought out water sources and gave them your so-called advice.
What is your purpose?
There was no reply. He hadn't cast the arcane skill that might allow the skull to speak. Ah! He can do that, okay. Yan Ping lowered his head and found a line of ants climbing through the hole in the skull.
To verify that you have learned the right knowledge? To offer help to the creatures similar to you? Or you just simply could not resist the desire to do so?
Yan Ping stayed there with the silent bones for a long time, before he took wing again.
No matter.
All man, whether great or ordinary, will end up a pile of bones.
There's nothing else I can say. It's time to return.
How long did your friend lay there until you found him? That's a question that's on my mind right now. What's the time span? Considering you're a pretty long-lived being, for you it was probably moments, but in reality it was probably decades. Oh, didn't even read. Want something. Oh, my lungs, Jesus. I'm just happy that this guy has a pretty low tone in voice, so it's easy to do his voice. Or rather a voice for him.
For as long as we draw breath, we're migrating. And then, at the moment of our death, we are reduced to bones in an instant. Thus, we take our people's bones with us wherever we move. It is our way. This wand is not merely a tool to me.
I see.
So, then the bone came from...
Exactly.
Ah. Okay, so that's where The wand is from... Okay, I see.
My clanmate's wing. I learned how to carve from humans, so that I might make this wand.
He reads the old man's reaction, hoping he might capture some clue from his response. The old man raises his eyebrows. Mouth slightly open but wordless, eyes open and fixed straight on him. It is shock.
My apologies.
My apologies if I've caused offense. There may be cultural differences between us. So then you're a bone carver. What a surprise. I know of a place that would be perfect for you. It is called Nizhny...
Oh wait, no. Nizhny Novgorod? Novgorod? cool name! Excuse me, what the... Huh? Who is this old man? Okay, I'm starting to be suspicious. What the hell?
It is called Nizhny Novgorod. Cool name, isn't it? There are many craftsmen there, and they make lions, tigers, reindeer, and even dragons out of bones. Their handicrafts are used as accessories on sheets.
Oh my.
Can you imagine that? Legendary creatures coming to life through simple engravings on old bones. Calm yourself, sir. Otherwise, I think I may have to cast a calming arcane skill.
No.
Oh, please, don't worry. I'm totally fine. I'm not rabbit. I'm only happy for you. But I almost forgot. I promised to tell you everything, so I don't think you would like to see this false image anymore.
Oh?
Hold on a second.
Uh-huh. I'm holding. A second later, the old man's image fades away like a drop of ink in water. Who the... Oh. Is he from the same, Is he from Xeno? Is he from one of the aviation champs? I see the little thingy on his jacket. Hi? The face revealed beneath is surprisingly young. Okay, so the name was definitely... that he brought up was definitely some kind of Russian or name or something. Anyway, he tidies up his appearance, already decent enough, and begins again more seriously. Alright, please, allow me to introduce myself one more time.
You may call me Leonid, Hey You, or Employee. The name doesn't matter. Just pick one to make communication easier.
The resignation of someone who came to terms with, they don't remember my name. Hey you! Employee! Get your ass over here! Anyway, funny. Leonid, huh?
In fact,
I work for the St. Pavlov Foundation. I don't think you would know of it, but it's an organization which provides support for Arcanists and collects their information. So far, it has helped countless Arcanists. I work at the Russian branch. Like the other branches, we are committed to helping Arcanists. It's part of our duty.
like this?
For example... Oh, no, never mind, I thought he's gonna... For example, if you are attacked by critters when you take a nap on the park bench, call us, but try to make sure you hadn't just drank too much vodka first. He wouldn't be Russian if he wouldn't mention vodka! Sorry.
Seriously?
In truth, I love this job. It gives me the opportunities to get in touch with new things and people. Like you, a rare case even among Arcanists.
I owe you an apology, to be honest. We were going to catch those big critters with corn and wheat. You know, they haunt this place in winter. Never expected to see you here.
Leonid, I have a question. Why were you impersonating the old man? Were you always the old man? That would be funny.
We thought you were a new species, but you are... half man? So they got me here just in case.
This story has so much voice dialogue compared to the previous one. Gideon has little sense of most of the technical jargon the now young man is speaking, but manages to capture the key information.
My apologies.
Please, you don't have to do anything. It was I who ate the crops without permission. I should repay you for them. So how much are they?
It's okay.
Oh, only a few sharpodontes. It's already forgotten. Now back to bone carving. Seriously.
Please, wait. What is this sharpodonte?
A currency widely used by Arcanists. I heard it has become popular even in the East now. Have you never seen one before?
If you mean the things people use to trade, the one I usually see is a round coin made of copper, with a hole in the middle. Though, where I am from, many people simply barter.
They look into each other's eyes, each bewildered, not sure what to say next. They're two very different creatures, each from a very different culture. Well, I'm not sure I see how to carry on our current conversation. Let's stop the artificial somnambulism and find another place to talk. Oh, that's what's going on! Okay. Okay. This starts to make more sense now.
So...
Please, close your eyes. I'll take you to a room where we can sit.
Alright.
Okay. Okay, this story suddenly makes more sense. He's in the institute already. Or maybe a branch? Maybe an institute. Anyway. The corridors of our branch can be kind of narrow. You may find your wings brushing along the wall.
We'll be careful.
I hope to.
I have another question.
Please.
By all means, go ahead.
Really?
It seems there is no longer barrier between us. Is that part of your arcane skill? Huh. Like there was an actual arcane barrier between the two? Okay. By the way, that grain you ate was soaked in liquor. You were passed out drunk when we found you. We mistook you for a strange critter, but then your wand glowed. My colleagues screamed as if a pack of bears or moose had broken loose in our branch again. I had to confiscate it for now, and I took your pendant too, just in case.
My apologies.
Yes, our languages. It's my arcane skill working. I apologize for you finding me in that sorry scene.
It's okay.
More than fine with it. Our team didn't suffer any trouble. We've seen worse. Ah, here we are. Oh wow, we're actually at the Foundation. What the shit? The austere room places metal wherever one might expect wood, leaving the room with a monochromatic grey hue. The layout imposes a feeling of strictness and cold. Combing through the experiences he's witnessed through others' bones, Gideon can only think of one place that would look this way.
Is this a prison?
You know, I told them to use more colors in the room, but they didn't listen.
Seriously?
This is sadly a bog standard office of the Foundation. You've caught onto its biggest drawback. It does give the impression of a prison to anyone with even the slightest care for aesthetics. Maybe it's to make us more eager in the field. Who knows? Please, take a seat. He pulls out a chair for the bird, gesturing for him to sit, then sits on the opposite side. You know, I never really thought about it, but if a currency like this would exist where there is like a pointy arrow sticking out on one end, or just pointy end like that, no one would want this. As nice as it looks, no one would want a currency like this. This is just destroying wallets and pockets. Something round drops from beneath his fingers and onto the table. This is a sharpodonte. Hold it if you want. Just be careful, it might bite you.
It looks similar to the coins I know, only without a hole in the middle. It seems your kind have a preference for cats.
It's a lion, a much larger animal. Imagine a cat larger than this table, with a mane and a loud roar. Hey! Leonid grabs the Sharpodont immediately and puts it in his pocket. The pocket continues to make a racket of gnashing teeth and ineffectual anger. Wait, the money actually... What? Can the money actually do that?
This is a splendid coin. It would be most difficult to steal.
Sorry.
He as though I never thought it would bite you. Usually Sharpodonts only bite humans or when irritated.
You look like a decent bird.
Thanks.
I wonder if a lion likes being petted, like a cat does.
He admits to himself, frankly, that he likes being petted too. May I introduce this guy to a certain protagonist from The Legend of Heroes called Reen? Good God, Reen. He has a problem. You've come a long way from home, though. That makes me think you're the curious type. Now, before we move on, I must clarify that the Foundation does not intend to violate the privacy of any Arcanists.
In fact,
the following questions are based on the information I have collected from the artificial somnambulism. It's a special circumstance, and I hope you understand. To show my sincerity, here's your wand. He takes out a long bone stick from a hidden place and pushes towards the awkwardly seated bird. God, yeah, he must look so weird sitting down instead of perching. You've shown some trust in me, so I think I should trust you in return. Few would close their eyes in front of an Arcanist they just met without hesitation.
Your bones told me that you are a straightforward person, all deceptions aside. They also say there is something you want from me. That's why you are being so friendly.
Gideon leaves the wand on the table, waiting for Leonid's response patiently. After all, he received many such offers of kindness from the people beyond his mountain. Whoever they were, they all shared one thing in common. There was always something they wanted. There is always a motive behind a stranger's kindness.
What do you want? Wealth? Fame? Social status? Or a new arcane skill?
Feathers?
People like you have similar purposes.
Alright. Okay, this suddenly turned interesting. Like, very interesting. I did not expect that this story would take place in the Foundation. Well, that shifted. Okay. Let's continue. Number 4, part ways. Also, I do wonder, you guys don't have to answer that, but I do wonder right now, just in my head, if Leonid here is appearing also in Farewell Rayashki. Anyway, the young man nods, looking much as the bird expected. Yet his barrage of questions catches Gideon off guard.
so...
How might I make this wish? Is there a ritual one needs to perform? And how is it that you grant these wishes?
Really?
And is it true that you are capable of bringing abundance, like the legendary Firebird? Or are you Koshei himself, merely hiding in a bird's body? Leonid sounds very familiar with these names, his face containing a joyful smile as he mentions them. That sounds like a...
Anyway,
Oops.
whatever creature you are, I would like to ask you for a story.
Crochet, huh? That sounds like a significant name. Gonna try and remember that. A story?
Yes, that's right.
Yes, a story you didn't finish. You told me the backstory of your want, and it already revealed much about your people. I appreciate you letting me peek into your people's lives like that.
I hope to.
So I wish that you would finish it, and if you need something in return, I will tell you anything you like. Or everything even, so long as it's not classified.
Seriously?
I enjoy collecting all kinds of stories and finding out the truth behind them, and especially a legend from the Eastern land we know so little about. If you're wondering at my motive, your information will undoubtedly be important to the Foundation. It may even prove useful for my career.
So in the end, you are seeking a higher status.
Not truly, no. But if you'd like to think of it that way, I don't mind. Kinda like this guy. The man shrugs his shoulders before leaning back in towards Gideon.
In fact,
You were reluctant to leave that mountain in your story, but now here we are talking in this room. Why did you leave? Did your curiosity finally get the better of you? Your story will answer my questions, and perhaps my intel could be useful for you in turn.
I asked myself that question many times, and never arrived on a simple answer.
That's no matter.
But I don't mind giving it a try. But as you said, we are exchanging information that may be useful to the other, and I have provided some of mine. It's your turn now.
so...
I guess you'll ask me about the Foundation, right?
I believe I understand that your foundation is like the Jitsi in my homeland, an authority at the least,
However,
and that your arcane skill is of a rare kind and talent. The image was so real that I hadn't doubted it until the very end. Such a skill could only be the result of generations of cultivation, I'm sure. But I've only seen it once among the bones I've seen. So where did you learn it from?
No, that's not true.
I'm afraid I have to disappoint you. What you saw wasn't an arcane skill at all. I don't know that any Arcanist in our Foundation could do this with arcane skills alone. Not even our best.
In fact,
No, what you saw here was a product by a machine, given a little ingenuity on our part. Though I admit, it probably looks like magic to most people. Officially, it's called artificial somnambulism.
that's true.
How did I... How did I say there's a somnambulism? What did I do there just now?
Yes, I remember. You mentioned it before.
The city, the old man, and the ladies I asked you about were all product from your memories. Your subconscious tricked you into rationalizing what you saw as real. Essentially, you built a dream around yourself, so it's only natural that you believe it was real. Yeah, that's one way to trick your mind.
The bird tries to match Leonid's birds with his experiences.
This machine must be some kind of mechanical device, and his subconsciousness must refer to the impression of one's own mind. And if that is the case, the function of this artificial somnambulism becomes obvious.
So this device reads one's mind and creates an illusion using replicas built from one's own memories. In a way, it functions quite similar to the arcane skill I had seen before.
no worries.
From the sound of it, yes, but please don't be alarmed.
In fact,
The artificial somnambulism guidance has specified the scope of content that operators are allowed to access. We can't see the parts of your mind that you refuse to show, not that we would even ever try. It would be a severe violation of one's personal rights after all. You're a rare case. I had access to that entire city and all those people in your mind. Not to imply you are careless, but it seems you truly trust others easily.
I guess
I guess your
your
hometown...
hometown has a friendly and tolerant atmosphere.
No.
Not exactly. That's one of the reasons why I left the mountain. Much of what I know comes from my people's bones, but there is a limit to what I can learn. I cannot know what they've forgotten, or what they refuse to tell. But I find myself more than a little confused as we continue our conversation. You desire something, yet refuse to admit it. You invented a method to read people's mind, yet impose so many restrictions on it. When my people left the mountain, humans begged them to grant their wishes, yet at the same time, they suspected my people of evil intentions. When my kind were still alive, some humans thought we were sent by their deities, while others grew bitter, thinking our help was demeaning. And as we died out, one by one, some cheered and some cried. Now I sense you have no intention to push me, yet you are not going to let me go either. You try to be nice and show sincerity, yet I sense a nervousness at my every movement.
It is.
It seems you humans really are inconsistent. But what I do not understand is what this has to do with my homeland.
Exactly.
Inconsistent? Yes, I suppose we can be. But most people never question their own inconsistencies.
Seriously?
But I know this is no small question for you, and that's why I think we're in a position to help each other. If you tell me more about your home, then I'll have more of the information I need. And then maybe we can work out just why it is we humans can be so inconsistent.
So?
It's likely not every detail will be useful, but why not give it a try? The young man leans forward again, like pressing a weight against the bird, hoping for a response. Gideon takes notice at that moment that the young man's neck bones shine brighter whenever he mentions the legend from the east. And now they are practically glowing. Please.
I hope to hear everything that happened somewhere far away from here. And in the name of Leonid, I swear, I will never use the story for any evil purposes.
That's an interesting way to put it. Usually people would say, and in my own name, but in the name of Leonid. Okay. I know that word of mouth doesn't always ring true, and that a story told from just one perspective can never give a full impression. But I can't stop myself from chasing this story to its end. The man's driving curiosity might have come off too strong if Gideon hadn't felt it himself before. His race's arcane skill allowed them to read other creatures' minds, yet the animals of the mountain had little occupying their minds except their daily survival. The birds didn't truly understand what being curious was like until they found a race with minds more like their own. Creatures that could communicate using words that could invent and imagine new things. From this race, the birds learned how to use fire and how to write down their thoughts, and finally they learned to be curious. Now the bird suddenly realizes what he and the young man share in common.
What attracts you is not necessarily good for you.
He held in a sigh. I see, but never knowing would be even worse for me. Very well. I already interpreted a hexagram for my friends before I came here. It said, one should go with the flow.
All right.
So, I have decided that I will just go with the flow. You haven't returned my pendant yet. Shall we start from there?
My pleasure.
I'm listening, and with great anticipation, let me say. In fact, its former owner was a bit like you. Really? I'm honored you'd say so. The young man cuts his reply short, prodding the bird to continue.
But I suppose, when I think back on it, it seems a trait that all humans share.
Gideon glances at the young man, tilting his head. Leonid can sense there is a compliment behind the bird's expression, as if he were an old man rustling a boy's hair with a smile. That is a very sad expression on his face.
Sorry.
Could I ask how old you are? I don't know how to tell how old a bird looks, but you don't seem old. So, would you be, say, my father's age? Oh, he's way older.
No, likely not.
Don't tell me you're as old as my grandfather.
I'm much older than your great-great-grandfather, I'm afraid.
He's a fossil. Oh, that caught him off guard. The young man's confusion seems more natural to his face than his smile. Taking a deep breath, the bird begins to tell the story.
This jade pendant belonged to 2 others before it came to me.
Uh-huh. To be continued! No! Must continue now! Okay, very interesting. What's gonna be the story behind the pendant then? Heart of Flesh? That's a title for a stage. I wonder what Leonid's whole deal here is as well, why he's so pressing towards Gideon.
In my homeland, the people living under the mountain had a preference for jade wares. I can only scarcely remember when those delicate jade pendants first came into fashion in the city. They resembled their coins, rounded, with a hole in the center. Some were glossy green, others pale white. They would feel warm if kept close to the body. Perhaps that's why it was worth so much. I first saw it on the belt of a scholar. I pray, keep us safe in this place. What is that?
He raises his head from behind his wings and to look down through the leaves. This is not the first time he has heard a human here.
Another seeker of blessings. I wonder why they put so much trust in the power of this tree. Perhaps they do this simply for peace of mind. I suppose it doesn't matter.
Good day to you, young master. I've seen you up here a lot of late. Here to pray for the exam? You have shown good devotion. The tree fairy will surely look after you.
I can only hope to be so blessed.
I come here to pray every day, but I do so just to reassure myself, in case I become too nervous in the exam to remember what I've learned.
You ought to replay some music underneath the tree. People say they hear songs coming down from the tree, but no one has ever seen any bird or man playing it. We figure it's a fairy. And if you play music to please her, the fairy might give you her blessings. Meanwhile, the fairy. Gideon never expected he'd be the cause of superstition. He had just learned a song from the bones. It had been a quiet day, and he was practicing. Who would have thought it could be so misconstructed? Wouldn't I be swaying the fairy's judgment if I did so? I should just say my wishes as they are. Then it's the fairy's choice to grant them or not. They converse for a little longer, until the second voice begins to fade away. Now the only voice is the one which woke him from his dream. I wish for the people here to live a life of peace, safe from disaster, and that their hard work will be rewarded with bountiful harvests. That merchants will be safe on their journeys.
His wishes are all about others. How curious.
He loses himself momentarily in thought before casting another glance down to him. Okay.
That backbone. He may make a good counselor in the court.
He rarely read the creature's bones outside of his own people. Bone reading so often makes one curious, and curiosity in turn could be the cause of many troubles. Even when he wanted to read another creature's bones, he would inevitably talk himself out of it. He tries with some difficulty to not make this an exception.
Pity he will live a disturbed life. Over-righteousness often comes with misfortune.
He will die for his beliefs. I cannot help but wonder if it might be a... No, it's none of my concern.
Gideon pulls back his glance from the man and his bones, but the voice inches closer. I must set out tomorrow.
Let me see. I don't have anything valuable, actually. I'll just leave this here, as a token of sincerity.
Ah, dependent, I guess. So that's how he gets it. I promise to return with better offerings to show my gratitude. Well, if my wishes come true, that is. As the man approaches the tree, the bird withdraws more deeply into its leaves. There is a rustling of fabric and grass. Something is put on the ground. Right, this should do it. Farewell. Gideon cannot dare to look until all is quiet again. Below him now is a jade pendant, the same that had hung on the young man's belt. The bird ponders for a moment and puts it into the tree's hollow.
Nobody will look inside the tree's hollow. It's safer here. And should he come back to look for it, I will find a way to return it to him. What is lost must be returned, so one may be spared unwanted troubles.
The thought puts his mind at ease, and he returns to his sleep. Back to napping.
After the young scholar left, life in the forest became quiet again. I spent many long hours in that tree, napping or just listening to the wind. But the scholar never returned. Perhaps it is just as his bones foretold, and he was taken by deaf young. Even if I was wrong, mortal lives are short. The pendant no longer had a master.
However,
until I met its second owner.
So this is the tree Father mentioned. It's more flourishing than I imagined.
Oh, okay. So the guy had a son and this is his son, okay. Scholar's son, huh? Also, again, so many side characters in Gideon's story with full-on voice acting. This is wild.
I wouldn't be surprised if there truly was a fairy here. I hadn't seen many blessing seekers for some time. It seemed now that people only gathered under the tree to talk and laugh before parting ways. Humans.
Seeing this young man recalls a similar scene. His bones are strangely similar to those of the young scholar who visited so many years ago. He foresees that this man too will meet a similar end.
I thought people in the outside world cherished their lives more than anything. How come he would rather die than stand by? It's meaningless. Risking your life just to say something that might not even be adopted. How reckless. It's not worth it. Is this necessary?
For him, spending so much time in this tree will perhaps it's merely habit, but this is where the humans come to make their wishes. And he listens to their requests, trying to understand what draws his race to them. He no longer blames his people for leaving home behind. Still, he is puzzled. Why did you go into the human world? Why did you sacrifice yourself? Father, the places you used to talk about, I visited them all. You warned me not to follow in your footsteps, but I chose this path on my own.
Besides, I've already seen the beauty of the world. I can't bear to watch it being ruined.
Is the guy gonna join some kind of army? Gideon listened silently from the treetop. This had been the moment to return the pendant.
Such a beautiful tree should stay here alone, so it won't be destroyed.
Enough empty words. I've made up my mind. The young man walks away with determination, never looking back. The bird knows at the moment he will never see him again. From then on, he found himself returning to the hollow to check on the pendant. Within a few short days, his prediction appears to come true. As I thought. What could he have gained from this desperate course of action? The jade, now broken, seems like little more than a mound of pebbles. But the bird picks them up. I tried to repair it, doing the best I could. Afterward, I tied it to the end of my bone flute. I thought maybe I would come to understand them more by repairing the jade.
They struggled for what they knew was impossible, and even died for it unknowingly, just like my people.
Not long after that, a strange rumor went around the village that people there were being mysteriously turned into horses. I decided to find out what really happened.
Turns out, I'm also part of the story.
Yup. Okay. Okay. So far this is very interesting. Like the background information and the little bits and pieces that are fitting him back into notes on Shuori and stuff like that. But also his clan and everything. Very interesting. The limited sky in the teapot. Okay, is this part gonna be taking place in the city? Oh, back here. So you repaired the pendant. That's why it has these cracks?
Seriously?
I wouldn't have thought it possible with just a pair of wings. Holding it at a distance, you can hardly tell it was broken. Following his gaze down, the bird's eyes spot the jade lying on the table.
I have not checked it carefully in a very long time. Judging from the look, I might have spent a lot of effort on it indeed.
It looks pretty much like it was never broken. I felt something change inside me after seeing what happened to the previous owners of the pendant. So when I left the mountain, I kept it as a reminder. Not to meddle in others' affairs, and to remind myself how similar my people and humans really are. I wasn't favored by the goddess of wisdom, so please forgive me if I say anything stupid or offensive. Softly and tentatively, he touches the edges of the pendant with his fingertips. Then he sits up. It feels a little like a piece of bone. Speaking of which, I wonder what you can see from my bones. No, never mind, I don't think I want to know. At first I thought it was a trick for detecting lies and illusions, but if it's my past and future that you are seeing, count me out.
Seriously?
I would lose interest in living my life if I find out that I won't die surrounded by my collections of stories and beautiful carved bones. Okay, I like this guy's outlook. There's definitely, I can definitely vibe with this outlook. If I had the opportunity to know when and how my life would end, I would not want to know that. Absolutely not.
No.
I haven't looked that closely.
You haven't, but it is within your abilities to pry into the details. Please don't tell anyone what you see, including me. Clamp it, muzzle it. Oh, pardon me. I only meant your ability is very impressive. Yes, that's all I wanted to say.
You flatter me, sir.
It is.
But life beyond the mountain has told me much more than what the bones may tell. My people must have felt the same as they traveled across the human world. They thought themselves visitors to that world, only traveling through it. Little did they know that they were already bound to it.
But things are connected once they meet each other. Exactly.
Novelty attracts attention, and it is all too easy to get obsessed with finding it. I learned calligraphy, drawing, music instruments, so many other skills. I've also learned many poems, all thanks to chasing novelty.
In fact,
I started carving bones after I got this very knife.
actually, the bone piece embedded in the blade will shine like a pearl if you put it under the light. But there is no doubt it is bone. It even looks alive when you put it in the fire. I just can't stop looking at it.
Interesting fascination with bones. Do your people know how to do it?
Do what?
Imbue things with life.
Like this?
Wood,
Or that?
wood, bones, metal, mud. We may shape them into the forms of animals and men. This is one way of bringing them to life. The other way is to give them stories. When I first saw your bone wand and the jade pendant, I assumed that the wand was more precious than the pendant because it has arcane power, and the pendant doesn't. But now I'm more drawn into your pendant story.
In fact,
Items with stories are more valuable than those without.
That's true.
Indeed.
seriously.
And to fully master a skill, one must first find a good teacher, and then be willing to search the world and learn more. He stops himself. Oh, sorry, I should get some water. Or would you like tea? I'm going to brew some anyway. The branch just bought some news. Samovars? Samovars. I'll make some tea for us. That is a tea cooker. I love the design of this thing. A shiny tea set now fills up most of the space on the desk. The young man bends down to carefully light the charcoal beneath the device.
How convenient. The pot must come from a good designer.
In fact,
My people are heavy tea drinkers, so samovars were invented to meet our needs. It's very convenient. It pours easily and provides much needed wind protection to keep the tea warm. There's even a place to set snacks on. Yeah, I can see that. Is this a real thing? Actually, you know what? Hold on. I wanna Google that word and see what comes up. Oh yeah, this is actually a thing. This is actually a thing. I've never seen these. So yeah, samovar. It is a Russian, originating from Russian. It's pretty much used to brew up, to heat up water, brew up water, and it's spread from Russia to Eastern Europe and Western Central and South Asia essentially. And oh yeah, apparently samovar translates to self-brewer, which again, this is one of those times whenever I figure out that this is a Russian word and I say it out loud, it sounds very similar to like two Croatian words in this case smashed together. Yeah, very interesting. Okay, very cool. I even found a picture of one that looks exactly like the one here with the snacks or whatever those rings are on it. Anyway, you see, no one would have been bothered to design such a thing if tea weren't introduced to us. The glistening amber tea is poured out of the pot until it fills the cup. As the steam rises, drops of water condense on the tips of the bird's feathers. If there are needs, there will be those who try to meet those needs. It's true, once you have a prototype, others will try to improve on it. But
the creation is the real exciting part.
The bird ruminates on the bird. The young man is right. His people have never developed any skills or invented anything, not even these smallest things which might make their lives easier, like this teapot. All they have ever done is imitation or mimicry. They spent years learning human languages, imitating their behaviors, and adapting to their customs. The bones of their predecessors recording all the information they would need.
Neither I nor any of my people have ever created anything.
If imitation was what we left the mountain for, we probably chose the wrong path at the very beginning. It's meaningless.
Huh. That is a realization, buddy. But it's not meaningless, I would say. He puts an end to this thought. It's a conclusion he never thought he would make, but not one he never thought about before.
Oh!
Don't overthink it. True invention is rare, only a small number of people ever manage it. There are a few of them as an old man's hair. That's an analogy. Someone else invented it, and now all I have to do is make the tea.
Anyone can make tea.
True. But we all brew our tea a little differently. Each taste is unique.
Seriously?
I have to say, your dodged pursuit of an explanation reminds me of some of my other Arcanist friends.
I don't know how to make a wand as simple and natural as yours. Likewise, you can't make tea as good as mine. Things like this happen all the time. It's not a big deal.
There is no need to dwell on the true reason you left the mountain. Maybe it was just curiosity. It could be anything. Or perhaps you were looking for a tool to survive.
We don't need any new tools. My people have always had what we needed to survive.
No. With that mindset, you're sure to find yourself at a dead end. How could I make tea without a samovar? You'll have to see more to know what you're capable of, what you're made to do. That's your tool. Huh. Did I have to listen to someone slurp tea? The young man shakes his head a little and takes a sip from his cup, his face wrinkling up in disgust. It's bitter! Don't... Ugh. Good that you haven't had too many tea leaves in one pot, I'd say. I'll make you another one.
That's no matter.
I find this funny, literally just after he was boasting about how good his tea is.
No matter. Allow me.
So?
Oh, well, thank you.
Sugar or honey?
Honey, please. That's how we had it back in the village. The bird nods in understanding. He stares at the teapot and slightly lifts his wings. The bronze pot tilts as he moves and deftly fills their cups. Oh, and please pour my tea here, into the plate. As he waits for his tea, the young man scoops up some honey and sends it into his mouth. Then he takes up his plate, drinking the tea from its edge. Is he drinking it like sake? From like a tiny little plate? That's interesting.
I've never seen one drink tea in this manner before.
In fact,
you'll get used to it if you stick around. We don't have rules on how people should drink their tea here.
That's true.
Indeed, it's good to learn new things.
The white steam from the hot tea rises, and they both fall into a comfortable silence. Slowly the steam gathers until it hangs in the air like fog, as Leonid realizes he no longer can see Gideon's face, nor the wall behind him. Oh? But there is still a wall. Only it's no longer the staid grey office wall he knew. What is going on? You said you don't know anything about artificial somnambulism. So, how did you gain access to it?
No.
I have no such device in my possession. I spoke truly. I had never experienced its effects before.
However...
But I did tell you of an arcane skill similar to it. Have you forgotten?
In fact,
It's my job to assess whether you are a threat to the Foundation. To do that, I had to keep certain information from you. We only want honest answers from you, that's all. Now, you're right. We are still dreaming. That was the last piece of information I kept from you. If you're upset...
I knew what you wanted since the beginning.
The bird's voice is calm as he continues.
Yet I was bewildered by the inconsistency between your words and your deeds.
However...
I have also learned much from our conversation, but as I was once told, it is best to judge the heart by its deeds.
Please.
Which is why I'm taking control.
Uh-oh. Okay. Very interesting as well. So there was someone with an arcane skill in the past that that was kind of like the somnambulism. Okay. No more astray. This story so far has been very interesting. Okay. Turns out I was the one who was left in the dark.
seriously?
Now I wonder why you let me guide you into these dreams. Weren't you afraid? As I'm afraid now. The Foundation won't go easy on me if they find out you operated a machine without training. And what if anything goes wrong, and we're stuck in here forever?
You have an interest in handicrafts.
Oh, a sudden change of topic. Yes, of course. I wasn't lying to you.
I made notes of the place you mentioned.
Oh,
You did? That's good. In fact, if you ever go there, do you mind bringing me a couple of things?
And I'm hoping you might remember this place of mine.
Oh? Oh, back to the tree, huh?
We are born with the talents of speaking the human language and reading bones. Our bodies are a combination of humans and birds. They will turn into skeletons as soon as we die.
As soon as you die. You mean you're decomposing super quick?
It is my people's belief that we should witness as many beings and events as we can, to record them in our bones while we are still alive. And after our death, our bones will be taken to our next home. We move from the borderlands of the Central Plains. Because of war. Our future changed dramatically not long after we'd arrived. Then, one by one, my people left the mountain. Now more and more bones are brought back, and with the bones come rumors, tales about us.
People in the human world call us Miemongs. Yet we prefer to call the entire race by one surname, which is Getian.
Ah, okay. That makes sense now. Okay. I wondered why he was now called Yan Ping, like why we suddenly got the full name. But okay, Gideon is both like the race's name and like a unified surname for all of them. if they all have like a name.
And I am the first Gideon ever born in the Central Plains.
The mountain breeze rises, gentler than the icy wind of the land where they had been. It rustles through both hair and feathers. They hear the footsteps of animals on soft earth, the patter of tree branches, and the humming of water in a brook.
For a very long time, I simply roosted on this tree.
As the days passed, fewer and fewer of my people visited me. Most had become the lazy bones lying in the temple. The bones never lied about their owner's character. Some could be talkative, some were taciturn. The lives of mortals then scarcely intrigued me, but the life in the mountain had grown dull in equal measure. Until a thought dawned on me. Though humans cannot read bones, they have their own ways to pass on memories. They write or draw, they compose music, they shape mud and earth or carve solid stone.
I have mastered all these skills and rid the lives of my people. Almost every one of them. I will make an attempt.
Uh-huh.
What are you going to show me? A room full of treasures?
A room with only lifeless objects. Please come in.
I will show you my anime figure collection. Please behold all the bunny waifus.
My
this
wand is made of bone. The bone from one of my people. He had taken a lot of trouble on my behalf before I left the mountain.
His bones were never returned to this temple. For a long time, I assumed he was alive somewhere far beyond the mountain, until one day I overheard the bones speaking. They mentioned where his remains lied. The temple he last stayed at was not far away from the city. The place was long deserted. He gave up his life, neither wanting to return to his people nor to be remembered and worshipped into posterity. I didn't understand his choice. I choose not to take him back to our temple, as he wished it to be, but I took his story home to write it down in one of these scrolls.
Seriously?
This isn't a very large room, but it would be some effort to find anything specific. Aided only by the dim light seeping in from the outside, Leonid squints at the collections, waiting in the dark. Some things are hung in the air, while others appear casually tossed aside, barely visible in the dark clutter. Bones and carvings losing their dull luster to age. How are you going to find the right scroll in a dark room like this?
Not a concern.
There's the image from the menu. The bird turns his head and the room is suddenly basked in warm lamplight.
Who can tell the difference between the bones of the great and those of the ordinary? One should seek the pleasure of life, not the future after death.
Although the language he speaks is completely unfamiliar to him, the young man seems to understand the meaning of each word. It dawns on him that Gideon is continuing to use his powers to keep their conversation smooth and clear.
That's true. Whatever we have done when we are alive, we will become a pile of bones after we die.
He looks around and gasps out of amazement. Your collections in these works. I'm amazed.
Seriously?
You truly are one of the best birds I've ever seen.
Is that so?
Thank you.
The temple is quiet. Birds are unnecessary here, for they are useless to the dead. The only sound in the room are Gideon's feathers brushing across the scrolls. To be continued? Okay. Alright, final one. After the endless plain. Okay, how are we wrapping this up? One final reveal for something? So far the story has been fascinating. Okay, they're back. The tea is still warm, as if the people there had never left the room.
Oh, thank goodness.
Home safe. No one's brain is permanently wrecked. Thank goodness.
Seriously?
But I never regret taking this journey with you, sir. Earlier you said your name was Yan Ping, but you call yourself Gideon, after your people. So what do I call you?
If you don't mind, simply call me Gideon.
He pauses for a moment and solemnly speaks the young man's name.
No need.
Yes, I'm listening.
Is that your true name?
Okay. Oh, like I said in the beginning, names aren't important. We use them only for the sake of communication. Hope mine is not too tough to remember. If you wish to know the name I usually go with, my other colleagues always refer to me as Name Day. Aha. That's like what, his code name or something?
A second introduction.
Like a handshake from a friend.
All right.
I see.
So...
Oh, he changed to Name Day now. Just a random question, is this guy playable? With a name like that, I feel like... Actually... this part I don't want an answer for, but I feel like this guy appears in Rayashki or something. Anyway, a toast to you, Mr. Gideon. The young man raises his cup.
To peace.
To peace.
The bird extends his wing and pushes his cup towards the man. The man lowers his. The cups reach each other, making a single clink.
Seriously?
It's still nagging at me. Why did you figure out that we were dreaming?
The very moment you appeared as the Jag.
How... did I do something wrong?
No.
It was only that you asked me about my friend's whereabouts. It was odd that you'd ask. And that besides, your bones were a poor match to his appearance.
It is.
Illusions are difficult to perform, much like this artificial somnambulism. With diligent practice, you might become very good indeed.
Seriously?
Now you do sound like someone who's centuries old. Let me get all of the information sorted out. Hopefully I will have some time left to show you around in the branch. The one in reality, of course.
That's no matter.
Take your time.
But the man busily digging into his file seems not to hear him. I'll put you down as not hostile. In fact, you are kind, sensible, and very pleasant to converse with. But I will have to ask that question again.
No worries.
Please don't worry. My job is done. So your answer won't affect your assessment.
I see. Finish what you have started.
When we first met, I asked you which was more important to you, the bone wand or the jade pendant. At that time, I was only trying to figure out if you had a preference, one perhaps you shared with humans and Arcanists. But you already answered that through your stories. You treat them both as equals, just as you value the wand and pendant.
Are you sure you value them equally? What if you have to give up either of them to survive one day?
As we talked, I worried whether you might take the wand and the pendant from me.
He looks into the young man's eyes.
I told myself you meant no harm. You only wanted to learn more about me.
However...
From my story, You should know there is always a third option for me. I would have traded my life for them.
If I had to make a choice between the wand and the pendant, I would give you my bones.
Damn.
Your bones?
Slowly, he repeats the words and nods.
I didn't expect that answer.
He closes his notebook and rises to push the chair back under the table before turning around.
So?
Please wait another moment. I need to pause the artificial somnambulism program first and bring you back to the waking world as the protocol requested. I wish you a wonderful journey from here on. Your registration documents will be issued shortly. Not long before, we encountered a poet from an island. Perhaps you will see him too in the future. I think you'd have a great time together. A poet from an island? I feel like I should know who this is. Actually, maybe I do know who it is. But I don't remember the name. Shit. Anyway.
I will look forward to it.
Oh! Zima! That's why. That's why. Okay, I think I I see why Zima is gonna be an interesting anecdote. Okay.
Oh!
Also, I didn't lie about my love of stories. Should you hear more during your journey, I hope you might share them with me.
Can you write with your wings? Like using a quill pen?
I don't know why I'm laughing about that question, but I'm just trying to imagine how he would write.
I will attempt to do so.
The bird raises his wing, performing something as close to a wave as he can do.
Goodbye.
Aww. Finally returning to his solitude, the bird preens himself while enjoying the peace of the moment. He has seen and heard so much since he left the mountain, but rarely took the time to look back on his stories. The tea, the ink, the paper, the metal pot, the wooden table, the stone paved road, so many things he had never seen in the mountains. He was a newborn chick, and the mountain, the brook, and the forest were his shell. Now the shell has been gently cracked, and he flows out into a bowl. The bowl might be roughly made, but the liquid inside is clear and good, reflecting the sky, the mountains, and everything.
Perhaps this explains why people in the human world love liquor. I should have drunk with them when I had the chance.
Aww. The bird closes his eyes. There is still time to enjoy the moment before he wakes up from this dream.
Life beyond the mountain is indeed chaotic. I never intended to stay long in the city after that transformation mystery was solved. But now I'm even further away from home. Perhaps I will never return home again. Even so, it was good to see it once more, if only in a dream.
Gideon sits on the scholar tree, just as he had before, with the wind still blowing through his feathers. But he feels now that he is no longer as he was.
If time went back to that day, I would still fly down the mountain.
The owner of the tavern was young.
The owner of the tavern was young, stubborn because of her youth, but she has always been true to herself. She grew up in that city, growing close to her neighbors. She loved them like they were her own kin. If she did jump over that bridge, she must be a real Jangre now. She must be pleased. As for those two foreign merchants, they weren't scared away by all the trouble. They stayed till the very end. That day, I saw the lanterns floating down the river, glowing brighter than ever before. And that hexagram of water and fire, the choice to be made. Shu, with water above and sky below, the hexagram of waiting. I hope they left the city with what they wanted. Till this day, I still wonder which path that lady with unreadable bones ultimately chose. That young man was another interesting person. I wonder whom I will meet next.
How would I know the limits of the mountain if I didn't leave it? Yet the world turns out to be another bowl. Fine. I shall listen to the wind before anything comes up.
Oh, he dropped his hood. I just noticed. Huh. Lowering your barriers. Listening to the world around you. Okay. Not gonna lie, this was a pretty good one. Lots of mystery as well, mixed in between everything. I really like this one. I really like this one. This was not bad at all. Okay. And I kind of see... I wish a part of this was maybe... would have maybe been in the actual Notes on Shuori story. Like a part of Jiu's story was already mixed in with everything. But I kind of wish something of his, a bit more of his stuff, like what was in here, would have been in there. Just to kind of foreshadow this whole thing. Also, name day? Did not expect a new character to see in this story. And an interesting one at that. Huh. I wonder when I'll see that guy again. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, before we continue on the notes for Yenisei and Jiu, I will take care of this survey very, very quick. Just enough time to to get my voice sorted a bit and give it a bit of a rest. So I'll see you guys in a moment. Alright then, survey is cleared. This was, I swear, the longest, or rather, sorry, the most drawn out survey that I did so far. I think a way to describe this one would be debuff and chill. This one, outside of giving you Spathodia and stuff like that, this was a very slow one, not gonna lie. But anyway, we have character stories to check out, so let's do that. Alright, Yenisei is first, so let's see. An Arcanist's work exhibited for 16 years since the early 19th century and completed in spring on March 4th. First exhibited in the Tula Governorate of the Russian Empire before being moved to St. Petersburg. After spending a few years in St. Petersburg, the exhibit traveled to various locations both within and outside the empire. Yes. Medium source of life of late is the glistening ripples star, keeper of water. Fragrance notes, aquatic, ginger, icy water, geranium, oak moss. Oh, okay. Alright. Do I have them all? Yeah, I should have. Yeah. Okay. Let's see.
Greetings. I don't think I will ever get used to the coldness of water when I'm not performing divination.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's the sentence she says when she comes out of the lake. Funny.
When we travel on the tundra, the sleet is the last thing we would like to see. The muddy snow water would be mixed with root pieces and infiltrate into your boots through every crack. Your legs would be dragged down and down until you can't lift them anymore.
Also, she does the very sharp S's.
To this day, I have traveled to many places on my feet. I believe I will reach somewhere far, far away one day. Far enough to forget the way back. That will be where my story truly starts.
Oh.
Time is like a cold river flowing rapidly. Whoever falls into it doesn't have a choice of the direction they will be going. I feel the same helplessness when you remain silent.
I am sorry.
Privet, Miss Vertin. I'm arranging the travel notes from the last trip. Well, yes, sometimes it's hard to identify what I have written, even for myself.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about my handwriting.
When I was in St. Petersburg, I often took a walk along a country path. There were black locust and white birch trees on both sides, and the sparrows were chirping on the branches. The morning was always lively there. Always.
Nice.
The divination signs I see through the arcane energy in water are not that clear most of the time. Yes, I did see that your hat was left by the spring in the wilderness, but that's because you spend a lot of time there. The river feels cold yet gentle at midnight. The water will stroke people's ankles until all the worries are washed away. Good night. May you sleep tight like the black cobblestone at the bottom of Lake Baikal.
Excuse me. Uh-huh. Sure.
Perhaps you will sleep better than usual tonight if you place your legs to the northwest.
No, I'll sleep better tonight if you keep humming. No, keep going.
Actually, long hair is not a good choice for a regular traveler, but yes, there is still a limit to what my mother can tolerate. That's why I wear my hair up sometimes. It's the only thing I can do.
Good God, she does have long hair. It's basically down to her ankles.
Are you hoping to shake hands with me? Please hold on. Let me check the temperature of my palm.
Oh?
Alright, I'm ready.
She doesn't want to shake your hand if her hands are cold? Okay, funny.
These weak arms always slow me down whenever I need to climb on the journey, but I can easily walk over 30 versts carrying a whole bag of supplies, as long as it's not snowing.
Nice.
Like people, water has
Impressive.
their own traits. Lake water is calm, river water is energetic, stream water is shy, while seawater is tolerant and unpredictable.
That's an interesting analogy.
Misfortunes never last long. Hope is the faithful sister of misfortune. I'm sure you know that. When hypothermia strikes in the wild, it won't help much even if you try to warm yourself inside a horse corpse. There wouldn't have been all those troubles and dangers if we had these thermal insulation gears before.
That is the intimacy line? Sure, nothing is as intimate as sleeping inside of a horse corpse, I guess. Anyway.
The water flowing out of Miss Lasource's jar is ceaseless, and it is actual running water. The direction it shows is always different every time I touch it. Unbelievable.
Cute.
After using these glass bottles for a while, I realized they could hold other things besides water samples. They work well when you need to convey something you want others to read rather than hear. I suggest you give it a try next time.
Okay.
По которой реке плыть, стой и песенки петь.
What? Anyway.
Пожалуйста, пропустите меня.
Okay.
May the flow take their souls to the sea in the north.
Actually,
Пожалуйста, пропустите меня.
I think I halfway understand this one. Пропусти many. Leave it to me.
К вашим услугам.
Huh?
That's the direction.
Sure. So wait, what?
К вашим услугам.
Tražim uslugu? By the way, I'm translating it into Croatian because it sounds very similar. Looking for a favor. Or are you looking for a favor? Are you looking for a favor? I'm looking for a favor, something like that. Anyway.
A clear vision. The flood is coming. Prepare to be drowned. Pust le naufrage tichot vmestis vadoi.
Alright.
The turbulence arrives. Rivers are the scars of the earth. Worry not. The direction of fate is decided. Ah!
Okay.
Such rudeness.
Very rude.
We've done a good job. Now, thank you,
oops.
Miss. We've done a good job. Now, may I have a hand towel?
Oh, right, yeah, this line.
Thank you, Miss Vertin. I have seen the flow of the world.
Good.
It feels like I have experienced another journey. My view has been expanded and my mind has never been clearer.
Good. Alright, items. I'm obviously missing one, so I'm gonna look the third one up on the wiki very quickly. Okay, first one. Opaque glass bottle. Some valuable gifts from London, made in the standard shape and sizes found in many glass factories. She can tell the value of an object at a glance, and she's always sensitive to any ulterior motives behind gifts. Judging by the replacement rate of these bottles, she has made the most of them. Wool cape. Every Russian child knows it. It is the second blanket, under which one wraps oneself against the icy wind of the long winter. It can be made of various materials. In general, the wool ones are warmer than the cotton ones, and the patterns embroidered with gold thread last much longer than the usual colored threads. The list goes on. Okay, and the third one, equestrian skirt. A skirt modified from an outdated evening gown for easier movement during outdoor activities. There are two straps on each side to hold the rolled up hem in place, so the long skirt doesn't become a headache when riding. An ingenious idea, if only really would work like this. Alright. And now for this thing. So, story, first one. Soothsayer. In the beginning, the soothsayers were just soothsayers. When the brick-paved streets were still covered with stinking swamp mud, the Arcanists known as soothsayers were already there. They were there before the city walls overcame the wilderness. They saw the Bulgars, the Hazars, the Germans and the Greeks come and go, preaching in vain in this land, until one day the princess envoy from Byzantium returned on horseback with scrolls. The changes seem to happen overnight. Millions of onion domes covered the land like snow, erasing all traces of the Kievan Rus Arcanists had once known. The ability to harness the power of nature was considered evil. It was still early before the European Inquisitions lit the pyres in this land, but many of the Arcanists were still accused, tried, and quickly sunk to the bottom of the lakes. Nice, witch hunts. It didn't matter to the Rusalki why these people were thrown into the water, as they brought another Arcanist to shore. An offer was made in the glistening water. The mermaid agreed to the exchange. That day the soothsayer died, but the water keeper was born. Okay, so that's where they got their arcane powers from, this specific one, I guess. This is just a story. It could happen to any race, not just Arcanists. The Little Mermaid is fiction. The Rusalki don't necessarily have immortal souls, and the water keepers are just the Arcanists who control water. ... Nothing more. Sure, I'm gonna believe that. She gently closes the fragile old book as she makes the sharp remark. Next to her, her little sister is fast asleep. She pokes at the fire to warm the room. Tonight, at least, neither of them has any questions that need to be answered by the divination. Okay, the second one. Notes and excerpts. April 11th, 1800 something. Sunny. The route through the Valdai Hills in Siberia has always been disliked by travelers because it is both a detour and mostly covered in thick mud. The river has put an end to my social life, but at its source there is nothing but an absurd number of swamps and countless lakes of various sizes. I have no interest in guessing from which of these lakes and swamps the water samples I used in the Palace Divination came, and I certainly have no desire to do all that again, even if I had the chance. The weather, however, is beyond reproach. I have plenty of time to sit down and get my head together. May 20th, 1800 something, cloudy. Rivers are rare in the steppes, but the Ishim is an exception. It's already summer and I saw 2 churches flooded because of their proximity to the river. One of them seemed to have been built during the reign of Katharina the Great, to be confirmed, for its architectural style was common in that era, surrounded by the unrecognizable, possibly the name of a certain architecture of the description of it. Okay, she's putting in brackets here stuff that she isn't fully sure on yet. The Ishim must have been a beautiful sight when it was peaceful. Again in brackets, unrecognizable handwriting blurred by water stains. Oh, wait, no. It says unrecognizable up here because that part is probably also blurred. Unrecognizable handwriting blurred by water stains is different. Both the icy water in the summer and the swift current reminded me of the days I spent by the Vyatka River when I was still in the Tula countryside. It was good to be alone by the river, but there was nothing to be proud of if you fell into the water and got frozen. When I was traveling, I sometimes wondered if I would get myself killed one day because I was too arrogant to have a travel company. June 17th, 1800 something, sleeting. The weather does not look good, nor do our supplies. I have to set out again to the source of the Yenisei. It's way up north. If I'm lucky, I might see some other northern lights than the ones I saw during the White Night festivals. Wish me luck. August 13th, 1800. Cloudy. This may be the end of this diary. The St. Paulo Foundation will provide me with another diary, one that is more waterproof. They say they all use this special kind of paper. I just hope they also have pens that write down everything I say by themselves. Maybe. August 15th. Sunny. They really have pens that write down everything I say by themselves. I asked for one. I hope to show it to Miss Bessmert one day. Funny. Immediately. Alright, interview. Pandora, and then... oh, okay, twice. Let's see. Who is hosting? What made you decide to leave home without any worries? I heard that your adventures were not founded or supported by the court of any family. It must be hard for a well-born Russian aristocrat arcanist like yourself. My grandfather held the title, not me, and we do not lead an extravagant lifestyle. May I ask you to put aside your prejudice before you ask the questions? Wow. I've said this before, and I gotta say this again. I like how much bite she has. I thought Utu was a magazine of higher standards. So you have heard of us? Yes, only because Miss Bessmert was interested in you, so I looked you up a little. Now that I see it, that little piece of note might just be a coincidence. Piece of note. I think the more you learn about us, the more you will see past your prejudices too. So, you seem to care a lot about Bessmert. You seem to be in contact with her. How is she these days? Oh, okay. So Pandora, I mean, it doesn't surprise me really, but yeah, Pandora is in contact with Bessmert, huh? Okay, so Bessmert is still somewhere and she is active. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Anyway, let's go over to our other character. Alright, Jun Yangji. The work of Mixed. Era unknown, time of exhibition unknown, possibly created in early spring, originally exhibited in Pei City, China. The exhibit later traveled to the steppes of Central Asia, now in the St. Paulo Foundation. Okay, that kind of gives an idea immediately as to what happens to her after the story of Notes on Shuori. Okay, that's good. Let's listen to this.
请问这里是
Right.
哦，这是要我把手放上去的意思吗？好，我放上去了。
You mean it's an arcane skill? An arcane skill makes me speak your language, and you speak mine? I think I've heard it before.
Oh yeah, you did.
When and where exactly?
Yeah, this one is also very interesting. Because we brought up the fog and everything, people seem to forget who were around Pay City about people they meet over there.
Oh right. I remember when the Taoists put ashes into dirt, and the dirt started steaming in no time. Exactly how it smells like now.
Uh-huh.
As long as I spent enough time traveling around the world, eventually I will meet those who left Pay City for exploration. I remember everyone in the city, so I won't miss a chance to greet them. I'll go tell them that Zhou Nyangzi has been well. I even gained weight these days.
Aw.
What? Oh, I see. The game of who talks first. All right. It starts after I count from 1 to 9.
Oh god.
This one doesn't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The number of papers more than 9. Is this what the girl with the flower needs? Did you become yellow after sinking in the Huangzhou tea?
What?
I'm used to waking up early and managing the tavern. Now I get restless when I have nothing to do. But I've come up with a good plan. Go run in the wilderness and greet the animals and the plants. Good day to you too.
Right. Horsey.
Morning. I was waiting for you to wake up and visit me. Work hard during the day and sleep tight at night. What are you going to do today? Don't start it without breakfast. Some noodles, vegetables, and 2 sunny-side-up eggs. What do you think?
I will not lie, I did have noodles for breakfast. Thanks.
The lights here are amazing. They're much brighter than the lanterns in the city and keep burning day and night. They never go out. Oh, does it mean that they're also Arcanists? Just like the typing drum that keeps beating all night? It's fine. We still have time to talk. I'll ask the wooden dolls to make your bed, clean the tables, and get you something to help you sleep. Oh, I forgot. Things are different here. What about tea? Or honey water?
Sure, we'll like some.
I don't like wearing too many accessories on my head. Tying hair up is troublesome too. But the people in town always do that. So I had a good idea. Use my tools as hairpins, making my head a pocket for tools. How about that?
Resourceful?
Your hands are cold. Back in my city, Mr. Liu told me that people born with cold hands are weak and need more nourishment. Oh, you just washed your hands?
Mm-hmm.
I see.
Mm-hmm. The grandma approach, right? Oh, dearie. I don't think you've eaten enough today. Have some soup.
You see the writing on the purse? They were originally poems other people wrote and were given to me as gifts. Then I cut the fabrics and sewed them together to make this purse. I read them when I get tired at work. Like, lovebirds side by side in the aromatic water.
Uh-huh.
Having the greens of spring.
Uh-huh.
Over the wall. There is more. I think it means people love the meals in the restaurant. I have my wooden dolls as assistants, and I remember every formula of the liquors.
All I need to start a tavern is just enough materials and a space. So, may I have some land in the wilderness?
She asks with big puppy eyes. Or big horsey eyes?
If I made a plaque for you to hang on this wall, what do you think should be carved on it? Selfless? Generous? Not quite. Oh, how about just good Vertin?
Right. I've heard this one in the lobby a lot of times. Right.
People call me Zhou or Zhou Nyangzi. Zhou means 9 and can also mean liquor.
Right,
That's all
this
I
line.
know. But no matter which name you call me, I'll answer you loud and clear.
Horsey?
Jessica. Am
Oh.
I saying it right? She is my role model because look how great a Xiangrui she is. She's able to transform half of her body into a Yao. We often roll over the grass, race, and chase the hares passing by.
Of course these two are gonna be best friends.
There is a foreign lady who looks familiar and rolls her tongue when she speaks. She visited me a few times at the canteen. No, she didn't drink anything. She just sniffed the jars like a puppy and then left. How rude was that?
Sonetto? Is that who she means?
After leaping over the bridge, I took a look back at the city to see nothing but fog. I wonder if people on this end of the bridge have ever thought to take a look over there. The fog is the same, no matter from which side of the river. Do they know the rain doesn't come down the usual way, but goes back up to the sky? Who knows? I'll let it go. I'm getting more and more confused.
Oh, this was a loaded sentence. Oh, this was very loaded all of a sudden. Okay, obviously she talks about seeing the storm, so yeah, they've never seen her, obviously not in all regions. Considering how far back in the past the story for Pay City is supposed to be, or maybe is, no wonder that they have no idea about the storm and everything. But yeah, the fog really seems to just be separating the city from the rest of reality by some kind of, I don't know, time barrier, or maybe the fog itself is like a literal barrier through which you jump to go into another time and space. Whatever.
Let's go. I walk fast.
Oh, I know.
Should I start running? It's newly made this year. Another jar?
Sure.
Some aged liquor. Coming. There they are.
Oh god.
Got you.
Oh god.
You don't want to miss it. Let's get it over quick. I'll fill the cup for you. Ah!
Right, she stumbles during that.
Ouch. It's wrong. I remember it's called lending a hand.
Yes. Okay, the last two are locked, but that's fine. Let's see items. Liquor ladle, of course. It is said to have been used in the East to scoop wine from barrels, but in reality the long handle is difficult to wield and is thought to have been used primarily for entertainment. Judging by its appearance, it would be most practical for removing unwanted guests from the tavern. I mean, why not? Cherished pouch. A simple purse made special because its owner carefully attached all the poems she received to it. There were kind words from neighbors, words of praise, and sincere thanks from others. Strangely enough, every interviewee who is familiar with this language seems a little embarrassed when shown this purse. I'm gonna presume that some poems in that case are love poems as well? Probably. Alright, third item. Friend craft. Oh god, it's the dolls. And the ladle again? And the needle? Okay. Despite their appearance, these puppets are surprisingly flexible. They like to sing together, and the song is unheard of in the West. Of course, not every wooden puppet can sing and dance. It takes some freshly cut wood, a pair of skilled hands, and a stroke of luck to create such wonders. Okay, yeah, they're totally not creepy. Anyway, story. Let's see. First one. A city at its best. The city stood still in its heyday. There was gold and silver and no restrictions. There was silk and satin and no criticism. There were kings and common men and no hierarchy. It was the golden heyday of a great country, and its people believed their future was as bright as the noonday sun. It remained vibrant, passionate, and colorful. As the hem of the young girl's 6 fabric dress brushed gently against the street, a wisp of sweetness and refreshing spice lingered in the air. With her satin shoes softly patting the ground and her golden hair ornaments tinkling, she hurried along, delivering jars of wine to each household. A young guard on horseback slowly made his way down the street. When he caught sight of her dangerous pace, he tried to catch up and stop her, but the girl was long gone, leaving nothing behind but the bright sun above and a fleeting smile in her eyes. There was a time even greater than this. It was before the broken bridge, when the Xiangrei still roamed the earth. Travelers once flocked to its gates, and adventurers ventured beyond its walls. The people were nostalgic for days gone by, so the future was forgotten. The arrival of the capital carriage became a distant memory. In this self-sufficient land, only the moon shone softly and calmly, as it always had. The arrival of the capital carriage became a distant memory, huh? Yeah. So the whole city really is isolated. Interesting. Alright. Let's see. Personal belongings. Half a branch. A twig torn from a nearby tree now served multiple purposes. It could be a makeshift weapon for self-defense, a stick to clear the little traveled path, as well as a hairpin. We've learned that the owner is more than capable of protecting herself with or without the branch, yet she retains it perhaps because it was the straightest branch she could find nearby. It's like a sword, one that every hero carries, though I imagine a hero's sword would be more impressive. Well, I don't really need a sword anytime soon. Anyway, I like it. This will do. Okay, totem carving. A simple wooden totem bearing the marks of its creator's awkward chiseling. It resembles a horse with a hint of red paint on its tail, a pigment extracted from plants, now mostly worn away. You saw them, the Lucius. They really did. I know it was a long time ago, but maybe someday I can too. Black silk cloth. This 300 centimeter by 80 centimeter cloth was used to wrap all of the above items. Made from fine quality silk, it is easy to imagine the softness and luxuriousness feel it once had. Over the years, a layer of dust and dirt has formed on it, surprisingly adding to its durability. The Taoist once said, "We all came empty-handed, and we will go the same way." These are just my travel companions on the journey of life. Yeah, that's true. Alright, the interview, a reunion. Let's see, starting with Gio, huh? You are the mouth lady from before, but you look different, and you sound different too. But you must be her. There should be only one mouth lady in the world. Is she talking about Bessmert? If knowing the answer can get you sit through the interview, well then, yes. The mouth lady? Miss, are you okay? I didn't run away from the interview before. It is just, I just have more important things to do. After I jumped over the bridge, I kept running until I came to a green place. Then there was a wind that blew everything away. So you went to the step, I heard. Did you meet the Foundation there? Oh, the letter. I left a letter for you. Did you see it? I asked my friend to wait for you at the tavern. I thought you might want to know my whereabouts if I wasn't there. Oh. Okay. I know that part of the story as well. I found my answer, and I think you left because you finally realized you didn't need answers to your questions, right? Well, I'm glad that you do. I don't know how I feel about those answers, but I feel good to see you again. It is always good to see a friend again. Oh, so Pandora is... Either she is specifically saying that Pandora is Bessmert, or Pandora is just another lookalike to the sisters. If I understood this correctly, because this is what the feeling is right now from this thing. Okay. This is kind of like a huge thing here in a character file. Right? Jeez. Okay. This is probably the most interesting interview so far. But mostly on lore implications. Okay. Well, anyway. I think it's time for the trailers. Alright, there's like 5 trailers that I dug out from the main YouTube page of Reavers. And I skipped a couple of them, like the EPs and stuff, as I usually do, plus some stuff that looked like it's a trailer for one of the minigames that was part of the event, so that's fine. But yeah, let's begin. Main trailer, Notes on Shuori.
Are we really going in the right direction? This place is nothing but grass, grass, and grass. The Eastern Arcane skill, you said, is just a deception.
No one is begging you to stay here.
Oh yeah, I'm happy that I didn't watch the trailer.
Oh, 2 foreign merchants. I'm Jiu Nyangzi, filling in for the former Zhili.
This is the image from her personal story.
Our teammates were turned into horses and brought away by a talking giant bird.
Damn, look at him go.
Not be here. The Featherman is related to some disappearances in the city.
You're a Xiangrui. Why do you have to do that?
Stop this now, or even a real Xiangrui cannot save you from the disaster.
Very pretty.
Pretended to be merchants to get into the city, but they are actually with the Featherman.
Casting the Eastern Arcane skill we're looking for requires a price. A terrible price.
I was wondering if they're gonna show Bessmert in the trailer.
The picture of the wanted is complete. Please have a look.
Because it felt like they were avoiding her a lot.
That foreign lady. She must be good at painting?
Yes. She's very good at painting. Alright. But yeah. This one, this trailer, I'm very happy that I kind of didn't watch it before and kind of gave away quite a lot of the plot points.
Generous?
Very quickly.
Not quite. Oh, how about just good Vertin?
Yes.
It's newly made this year.
I have cast an incantation on you. It allows us to communicate
and
exchange our names as the code of etiquette requires.
I was using him during the survey, and he is interesting, I guess. I haven't really dabbled with characters that are using the Eureka stuff a lot, outside of a tiny bit with Marcus. But yeah, he's pretty much debuffs.
Shake hands with me? Please hold on. Let me check the temperature of my palm. Alright, I'm ready.
And Yenisei is a pretty good healer, from what I've used her so far. The Lost Dream. Oh, are these garments? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, the one for Zima.
It's a good time under the moon.
Jesus Christ, Druis.
Fast as lightning. The song might fade, yet the melody remains.
That is one hell of an outfit. A knight.
Warm the liquor for someone. An order is an order.
Really?
The opportunity. The drums and the horns sound. The sword shall be drawn.
Looks cool. I like his cape. Alright, character stories, right? New gameplay. Oh, yeah, right. This is where Echoes in the Mountains was the first time. Right. I forgot that this is where it appears for the first time. Oh, this one. Interesting. I will not lie, I kind of like the three-door thing. Right, Zima. More events. The story of the besieged town. Oh, this is where they started to also bring back the old stories? Ah. Very interesting. This is a beautiful diorama. And this as well. More bonuses, more login stuff, free polls. Yeah, this was definitely a half-year anniversary. Oh, hey. Oh, that was... okay, that was her. Okay, that's that. Next trailer. This one is called simply Dusho Festival. Very short, 1 minute.
The Dusho Festival greets a new season's light.
Uh-huh.
The streets alive with festive delight. To the bridge, the pedestrians stride.
Nice little poem.
Where fates and fortunes the divine provide. Be they human, immortal, demon.
Oh, this
ghost.
is the...
They heed the prayers they wish for most. The festival grows and spirits strengthen as they joyfully share
Big Durgan
intention. This is the way throughout generations.
Okay. Very cute. Okay, yeah, that was the festival, what they were talking about in the story about writing their wishes on those plaques and then dropping them into the river. Right. Alright. Cute. Next one. Character trailer for Jiu. A Helping Hand.
Your mother was the Xiangrui, the people's guardian.
What she couldn't finish must be accomplished by me.
Uh-huh.
I must try to become the guardian. The Xiangrui.
All these sticks.
It's raining. Wait! Hmm? Ouch!
Ouch!
Here, don't get wet.
Aww.
Thank you.
You back?
But she's already home.
You want to be a Xiangrui? Yes. It is the sacred beast guarding the people. I will make the best liquor for everyone.
Oh, he did a liquor thing?
Your drink, sir. I will do whatever I can to help.
Enough! Enough!
And I will protect everyone's property. 5, 6, 7, 9. No, 5, 6, 7, 8. What is after 8? Huh? But am I really able to become a Xiangrui? Come to think about it, I didn't help much. Maybe not. What? My teacher said the Xiangrui could fly on clouds and possessed infinite power. Well, yeah. But you give me an umbrella, and we're good friends now. I'll take care of you. Okay.
Oh, that was cute.
Zhongnyanzi.
Yes, on my way.
It's also very kind of funny to think about the, like, when it comes to like who she found as a family for herself. Pretty much all the mother figures in her life, including her own mother, have left her. But when it comes to like how much family she actually has, damn, pretty much an entire city is her family. All right, this was a nice one. And next one. Okay, this one looked like a very special trailer. It's called Chronicles of Pay City. What is this?
In the early days of Pay City's birth, on each Dushuo's eve, lanterns lit the river's girth. Wishes were whispered and set afloat on the river. But as time flowed, the stream slowly withered. The flickering lanterns soon became a memory. As traditions changed with the tides of history. And now, legends speak of the Xiangrui, who can bestow blessings and dispel troubles. For the revered gods of Shuori no longer respond to the people's struggles. Thus, in the Xiangrui, they entrusted their hopes to cross the bridge and beckon the gods from their heavenly abodes. And so, with hopeful eyes, they await for the miracle to unfold.
Damn. Okay, this one was kind of like a combination between the two. I'm guessing a combination between this one and the the trailer I'm about to watch next for Gideon, plus some actual story stuff. All right. Well, speaking of Gideon. Alright, buddy, let's see your trailer. Invokers to the Mountain.
Yanping, I'm going to the human world.
Please, bless the people here and grant them a peaceful and prosperous life.
His wishes are all about others.
Please, cease the flood.
Never seen anyone like this. That backbone. He may make a good counselor in the court. It's none of my concern. As Miemans, we are born to fly long and far away until our bodies turn into skeletons. Why bother helping the irrelevant, since they will only forget you? struggled for what he knew was impossible and died unknown.
You'll be killed if you submit this remonstrance.
What on earth made him take such a risk?
So what? Let it be, if that's the price for the people's peace.
Why did you care? Why did you sacrifice yourself? I still can't find the answer, no matter how hard I try.
Huh.
But maybe, when I go there and see the world in their eyes, the answer will show itself.
Okay, this one was very interesting. They actually showed a bit more about that second... I think it's the second dude. The son of the scholar that came to pray in this trailer. Very interesting. Okay. And they completely avoided showing the surprise character of the story. That's neat. That's actually neat that it didn't show that. So it stays as a surprise for the story. Okay, very cool. So then, with that, I think we are now completely done with Notes on Shuori. I would say we have wrapped up the whole thing very neatly, with the trailers, with the character stories. Sadly, I don't have Gideon, so I couldn't look at those in game at least. I could have looked at the wiki, but I would rather watch it and read it in game than through just a wiki page. But yeah, overall, I like the story and the event. Did the story itself have some problems, like with pacing and stuff? Yeah, it did. Like we said before, like the beginning portion might have been maybe a bit too dragged out. Plus, the two essential other main characters of the story took a bit to get introduced into it properly. Gideon did show up pretty early, but he doesn't show up then properly until the very late portion of the story. And the two character stories do quite a lot actually to develop these two as characters. But yeah, it's again, I will agree with the sentiment of the main portion of the event story didn't really do much, or rather, it did do quite a bit for at least for Giu, but Gideon didn't really get proper like development and explanation for him. He was being kept intentionally very, very vague, which again, it fits in well with his personality, but it kind of is missing the point of the story should also do something for the character to develop them. But the story did introduce a lot of interesting concepts, interesting characters, left a very big question mark about Pay City. That is definitely true. I have no idea if there's gonna be at any given point an answer to where the city is and in what actual year this story was taking place in. At least the portion of the story inside of Pay City, because again, all the story left me with is the impression that Pay City itself is probably existing in its own time frame, like the actual year where it's situated in. But probably the fog around it is kinda maybe both separating it, but also at the same time letting people from other like time, pretty much from other places in time and space, letting someone wander into the city. Which, if that's the case, that's a pretty interesting thing, and it wouldn't really be that too crazy to think about if that's the case. I mean, just look at the island and how isolated the island was as well from any kind of disturbances of anything happening around it due to a Peyron and everything. So who knows? Maybe it's the same or similar situation, but we'll see in the future if that gets answered at any given point. You guys also had some interesting theories brought up for that whole shtick that I saw on the previous couple of episodes for the city. So yeah, interesting, very interesting. I do kind of feel like I mean, it's a sneaky thing to place, like, the Pandora stuff that was in Jiu's character story file. Is very sneaky to put it in there, but at the same time, it's kind of like one of those things. That file is not really accessible by most people, right? If you didn't pull the character, and if you're not someone who is gonna go through the wiki and scour everything, you might never see that. Which is, I guess, fine. There's probably gonna be some other point in some other story that's gonna bring that up, and you can be on the same page as someone who has the character, but it's kind of one of those tiny little things where I wish stuff like that wouldn't be too maybe hidden inside of a character file, like a big reveal like that. But then again, Arcanists does the same thing. One of the biggest lore bombs was a short story that was placed inside of. Well, at least that character is accessible to everybody, so I'm not gonna complain about that, because it's pretty much the poster child for the game Amiya, and her first module and the story attached to it back then when it was released was quite the bombshell of information. As short as it was very impactful. Yeah, I don't know. In this case, when it's a limited character with something neatly hidden inside of their story like this, it's a bit of a I don't know. It's a nice tease, but unless you really look for it, you're not gonna find it. But yeah, anyhow, story was great. I really enjoyed it. The characters were also pretty good. Had some emotional moments, some funny moments, and the whole trope about the misunderstanding stuff was a bit maybe too much. But then again, knowing from where now through the character story of Gideon, knowing from where he's coming from and why he doesn't really talk too much, again, but much better explained in his character story and makes more sense. And his story on top of it teased a completely different character who I have no idea where he's gonna appear up again, but very interesting indeed. And the stuff that they talked about, plus just the overall conversation between the two was very, very interesting to follow. I was pretty much glued to the whole thing as I was doing both the character voices there, and yeah. But yeah, overall, this was pretty good. And next time, we're gonna be jumping into some anecdotes again, at least for the next episode, as pardon, as I've already said. We're gonna be doing anecdotes. The next anecdote is gonna be for Zima, because as also seen in the trailers that we just watched, he does play a role into this whole thing somehow. He's somehow connected to this whole shtick, but I'm looking forward to it. Apparently it has 8 nodes, which is kind of interesting as well. And yeah, this is what we're gonna do next time and see what he brings to the table. And I'm looking forward to it. After Zima is probably gonna be the episode for the new ending in the where is it? In this thing, in A Series of Dusks. And I'm really like what the shit is gonna be this new ending? What did they add? What did they do? But that's gonna be for after Zima. For now, I'm gonna go and rest a tiny bit more and get myself some more tea while this is gonna be rendering, because I can barely breathe right now. I need the rest of the day to recuperate my lungs. But I did, however, want to get this episode out, because didn't really bother me too much, the lung thing. But anyway, I will go and rest now. So guys, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did so, please consider leaving a like. It would help out a lot. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Leave a comment as well. That helps out a lot in the algorithm. And if you want to support me more directly, memberships are open. And as I always say, there will be no video behind a membership. It is purely there for support. And thank you very much to all the members already doing so. And I hope you all have a fantastic day wherever you are. And I will see you in the next one. Until then, bye-bye.